how do you follow up Kirby Super Star? While it didn't sell quite as well as its predecessors, it was commonly perceived as the best game in the series up to that point. Obviously, there'd be a lot of pressure to live up to the expectations set by it. Super Star set a new standard for content and playability. Following that up is hard. So, they didn't. They followed up Dreamland 2 instead. Don't question Daddy Sakurai, he knows what he's doing. That was a joke. Sakurai wasn't involved with Kirby again until Air Ride, except voicing DDD in Kirby 64, weirdly enough. And seeing that this game was released in 97, you'd think this was a game on the N64, but no, this is still a Super Nintendo game, because it wouldn't be a dead console without Kirby. Seriously, 22 years later, they still do this, albeit with a re-release instead of a new game. But like, why does Extra Epic Yarn exist? Dreamland 3 obviously bombed hard. It's got fans, sure, but no one really cared at the time. The PlayStation was the hot new console back then, and all eyes were on that, along with the N64. Around this time, people were more interested in Cloud 7, Woe the Second, Your Castle concerts, the Golden Eyeballs, Space Fox, racing against Diddy Kong. Like, dude, it was 1997, and Gold is one of the greatest years in gaming. You couldn't compete with a Super Nintendo game. Some nice-ass graphics that look like it was made with crayons and colored pencils. Pfft, we have polygons now. How many polys does this game have? Yeah, none. People did play the game eventually, but even then, not many see Dreamland 3 as a big highlight for Kirby. So I don't actually know much about Kirby's Dreamland 3. It's even one of the 3 main series games I've never finished. I have played it before, at some point. I'm assuming when I got the Dream Collection, which I mainly got from Kirby 64, but even then, I played it for an hour, maybe, and never touched it again. I just remember it being boring, and that's mainly it. I really don't have much to say about this one beforehand. I'm not expecting it to be the best game ever or anything, but please, just be better than Dreamland 2. That's all I'm asking for. Dreamland 2 was annoying. I will die on this hill. You remember Dark Matter, right? Yeah, that asshole from Dreamland 2. Well, he's back and bigger than ever, because he's infected all of Popstar with himself? I don't know how this works. But anyway, Kirby and friends have to go stop it. That's it. I really like this nice comic strip cutscene though, that's neat. But if you're expecting any major improvements from Superstar, you won't find any here. This is a sequel to Dreamland 2, and as such, we're back to the buddy system. There's only 8 copy abilities in this game, but having a different buddy changes what the ability does. Like, fire on his own is burning, but when you're paired with Rick, now he breathes fire, or Kind shoots this fire wave thing, or Ku does it downwards with a bigger hitbox. And to be fair, there are 3 more buddies this time, Nago, Pitch, and Choo Choo. So while I do appreciate the expansion of it, it still has the same core issues as last time. And no, I didn't skip Dreamland 1 and 2. I already reviewed them a billion years ago, but that video is garbage, so don't watch it. Good god, people still make fun of my voice now and it used to be worse? How did I even speak back then? But I digress. Here's the 2 cringe didn't watch. The collectibles were too hard to find, and the buddy system and abilities too cumbersome to obtain. And now that I'm rewatching my old garbage, I have an eerily similar opinion of Dreamland 3. Strap in, folks, if you thought this was gonna be happy fun time like the last 2 videos. No. But let's at least talk about the good first. They really tried to improve the buddy system. Just about every level has multiple points to get a new buddy, and while they don't give you a second health bar anymore, most of them are fun to use this time. Kind even runs better on land, making him way less situational. Rick is still a man. This new Nago dude wasn't that useful either, but I at least like using 4 out of the 6 to some extent, even if a lot of ability combos aren't that great. But what is pretty great is the music, as usual. And there's also this remix of Gourmet Race in some of the levels. It reminds me of Earthbound for some reason. They kind of brought back the co-op as well, so that's cool. But if you summon Gooey in single player, he makes the camera freak out for no reason, and I'm pretty sure he's why the camera is so wonky in this game. Like, how do you screw up the camera in a Super Nintendo game? The only other game I could think of that's like that is Secret of Mana. I am the only character on screen. Please put me in the center so I can see 2 feet in front of me, please. But hold on. Positives. The graphics are nice. I really like the art style, and it's impressive for a Super Nintendo game. But the PlayStation can probably do something like this really easily while also having CD quality audio, so at the time it wasn't technically impressive anymore, and the N64 could probably do it too, but without the CD audio. And good god, why do some effects block so much the screen? I'm trying to clean some flowers here. The collectibles in this game come in the form of heart stars, which you get if you finish the level passing some condition that they don't tell you about except for a vague sound effect and a portrait at the beginning of the level. But I do like this mechanic. in concept, but you know, good. What else? The scenes at the beginning of each world are cute, even though Adventure and Superstar did those too. Alright, at first, Dreamland 3 was wonderful. It's all colorful and happy, and it makes me feel good. Some stuff felt a little cryptic, but once I get used to this game's unique brand of bullshit, it wasn't really an issue. I was enjoying myself. All is good. Life is wonderful. But then I got to the second world, and it's like I'm playing a completely different game. One level, you might need to water flowers using a specific ability combo, and then use a completely different ability combo to share with this random dude the next, and then destroy these blocks into a specific pattern later on. It sounds fine when you know what to do, but like, how the hell was I supposed to know some of this stuff? I wasn't supposed to trample the flowers. I took this sad flower as an indication that I missed one, or bring Choo Choo to this dude. Again, how am I supposed to know that? One of the most cryptic ones is the level where we have to clean up the 2 preceding rooms with clean, but I didn't even notice there was anything different about them the first time through, let alone realize this pink floor is supposed to be dirt that you're supposed to clean up. The objectives for Horde Stars come in one of 3 camps. There's some cryptic, easy to miss garbage that requires you to use a guide to figure out what this game is attempting to convey to you with this vague hint sound. You know exactly what to do, but executing it is annoying, or it's painfully obvious what you need to do and requires little effort. The third camp does not happen very often. The second camp is home to the worst objectives. Like, yeah, bring Pitch to his mom. That's a bird. Makes sense. Except that it requires that you use Kyan to go through this water section, but also make sure to bring him through this weird double-sided door that needs 2 different abilities to get through, and then you can get to Pitch. His bitch-ass mom doesn't even look happy when you do it either. She looks emotionally scarred. Honestly, same. And keep in mind that dying makes you lose your buddies, so most objectives requiring specific buddies also means you have to play through pretty much the whole level without dying, which I'm fine with on paper, but then you die and have to leave and restart the whole thing for no reason. They do this with regular abilities sometimes too, like this level where you need to kill some Metroids with ice, but you can't go back and get ice again if you lose it, so that means you gotta restart the whole level. I just want to commit genocide, is that too much to ask? Oh yeah, there's also occasionally some character that's an 8-bit sprite, and they look so alien in a game like this, which seems totally intentional. Did any other games do something like this during this era? Actually, now that you mention it, Mario RPG did this as an Easter egg, but that's all that comes to mind. I just love weird, uncanny stuff like this. The occasional Nintendo reference is super weird too, that's awesome. I don't know why Samus needs Kirby to kill a few Metroids, but I'm glad to help out. And there's one part where you need to gather up parts to build a Rob. Apparently Nintendo games are allowed to reference Rob in the 90s. There's even some fire flowers that you have to clean for some reason? They're fire flowers! I thought it had something to do with fire! Okay, cool, I'm back to complaining. So, yeah, the camera hates you. It doesn't like being centered on Kirby even without Gooey being present, so you take damage out of nowhere a lot. And the controls aren't as smooth as SNES Superstar, so there's also that. Point is, I died a lot more than I was expecting. Not that the game's hard, but look man, save states and rewinding are beautiful things. I shudder to think about my sanity if I wasn't blessed with these luxuries. The worst Horde Star is having to play through all of 5-4 with Nago. But the kicker is that he's not found in that level, so we have to take him in from another level, leave, and then arbitrarily play through this whole level with him. It's not hard, just unnecessary and stupid. There's a few Horde Stars that you need to go down some random path too. Same issue. Oh, you went down the wrong path? Well, I guess you gotta start over, huh? Life is pain. Okay, so we gotta replay levels a bunch if we want to 100% the game. Just do a trial and error. How is that any different from just missing a secret switch? Well, my dear Kevin, in Adventure, the levels were short enough to where that wasn't a problem. But when you have to replay 3 to 5 minute long levels multiple times just to get some stupid collectible at the end, it gets old fast. Even then, not every level had a secret switch, but every Dreamland 3 level has a Heart Star, which just makes it a slog to obtain all of them. I was only halfway through the game and I was already dreading whatever 5th world logic puzzle was awaiting me around the corner. It took me 6 hours to finish Dreamland 3, but so much of that was just doing random garbage to get these stupid Heart Stars. If I already knew how to traverse through this mental minefield of a game or just ignore the things entirely, I probably could have finished it in half the time. So much of this game feels padded out, and that's not fun. I like 100%ing Kirby games because it's enjoyable to me, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't normally do that. Dreamland 3, though, save yourself the therapy trip and look up what you missed on YouTube. I'd like to retain what little sanity I have left after this game, and I'd suggest you do that too, especially after the train wreck of a year we just had. It's not even the stupid objectives required of you either. Even if you choose to ignore them, the game is much more enjoyable. But there's a lot of little things reminding you of how much it ignores everything Superstar improved. Like how damn slow the water sections are now. They were smooth as butter before, mainly because your default swimming speed was a nice pace and wasn't frustrating. Why is it so slow now? I get that it's to encourage you to use Kine, which would be fine, but what if Kine isn't in the level? Or what if you died and lost him? Kirby could do this by himself before, why does he suddenly need help for it? Which is the main reason I've never liked the buddy system. They don't complement Kirby's abilities very well. Yeah, Rick can run faster and ignore ice and sand, but he can't fly. And ice and sand isn't an issue when he can just fly instead, which Ku can do really well. And speaking of him, Ku is still my favorite buddy because almost all of his abilities are fun to use. Cutter is this feather projectile, which isn't as good as the Dreamland 2 version, but still good. Parasol has this mini tornado attack. Ice shoots through icicles. Spark has a lightning strike downwards. Just about all of them are consistently usable. I liked Pitch for a similar reason. His abilities are consistently good. Pitch, Needle, and Spark are cute, but not very useful. But again, mostly good. Pitch Parasol even has you hitting Pitch like a golf ball, that's hilarious. And Pitch can still fly. I guess the buddies are supposed to have weaknesses, but what's the point of that when Kirby was stronger in literally every area in the previous game? I get that you can't have unique movesets for every ability this time, but why can't the base controls at least be on par with Superstar? Why does nearly every ability have to feel so clunky to use when everything felt so fluid in the previous entry? Running too, how is it so finicky to activate this time? Aside from just the controls, the game's design is kinda whack too. Dreamland 3 loves auto-scrolling. It was dumb before, but at least it was consistent. You enter a room and oh, it's auto-scrolling now. Darn. But a lot of the time you walk down a room and surprise, now it's an auto-scroller. This trope already doesn't make any sense, now it makes even less sense. It's like your girlfriend telling you she's pregnant after only dating for a month. You can't just spring that on someone out of the blue, you have to mentally prepare yourself first. At least it doesn't have those stupid Dreamland 2 dead ends, but come on now, this is a bit too much. There's a few points where you're forced to use a specific ability too, like needing fire to destroy these ice blocks. It just destroys the replayability of Kirby. How can I mix things up if there's only one option to progress? And there was one part in Superstar that was like that, but at least you could use hammer instead of fire to light the fuse. Kirby doesn't mix well with forcing you to play a specific way. It's more fun to experiment and play how I want to. However, in fairness, Dreamland 3 is pretty good if you just play it straight through, but the bad sticks out way more than the good. Which, to be clear, there is good here, but it seems to have some weird asterisk attached to it. I like the art style and it's technically impressive, but the new consoles that are already out could probably do that much more easily. And the game's a big improvement over Dreamland 2, but basically ignores everything that Superstar improved. I do like the heart stars in concept, but getting all of them drives you crazy and ruins the game. Oh, but what if you ignore all of them? Yeah, you don't have to experience the emotional trauma, but now they're only even in credits and you don't fight the real final boss. It's so unsatisfying and it doesn't feel like you even beat the game. Speaking of that though, the final boss isn't anything too special. In fact, most bosses are like that. Dreamland 3 bosses have maybe 2 or 3 attacks, and they usually go down in relatively few hits. Especially the mini bosses that aren't even that common. Wispy Woods gave me a good jump scare though. I was not expecting the tree to chase me. This dude's out for blood. But anyway, you easily beat up a dark matter possessed deity, just like Dreamland 2. Wait, what the hell? We're gonna need more than friendship for this thing. Kirby should have stopped by the church to get some holy water or something. Anyway, all the heart stars combined to give me the heart rod. I'm sorry, the love stick. Okay, sure, let's exercise these demonic beasts with love, that'll work. Dark matter dies easily, but surprise, you're not done yet. This is Zero, the source of all dark matter. He's luckily not hard, a far cry of the dark matter from Dreamland 2. He still moves pretty slow like in that fight, but the boss is designed around it, so it's not a big deal. Especially since you have a projectile instead of some random sword. But you beat it up, so all is good in the world. What the fuck? Yeah, no, this thing is bleeding now. No wonder this fight is so hard to get to. They were trying to defend the E rating. The game just kinda ends afterwards. Everyone just goes back to the usual. Oh, hold on, I forgot about this. There's a straight up human in Kirby all of a sudden. Like, I'm pretty sure this girl is the only human in the series other than this dude from Right Back Astra, but does he really count? Her name is Ado, by the way, but she's named Adeline in every other game, so I'm just going with that. I just recently realized this too. There was just something weird about a straight up human walking around these games. is. And she's a kid, too. Maybe like 10? Where are her parents? Are they dead? Is she the only one left? There's so many questions that I want to know, but she's only in like 3 games. Please expand this deep Kirby lore, HAL Laboratories. I know I've been kind of mood whiplashy during this, but that's the thing, man. I really wanted to like this game, but I could feel myself slowly going insane while playing it. And just when I started enjoying it again, something comes out of left field to punch me back down to Crazy Town. This game made me go anime girl profile pic on Twitter. This is how I felt on the inside while playing this game. Alright, to be fair, I was comparing the game to Superstar a lot, and Dreamland 3 is not Superstar. But at the same time, it felt like Dreamland 3 pretended the Superstar didn't exist. I mean, yeah, sure, don't be Superstar, but if the controls and extra quality of life stuff were on par with that game, aside from the expanded movesets, Dreamland 3 would have been 1,000 times better, which just makes Dreamland 3 feel like a massive step back.
Because that's the worst thing about Dreamland 3. It's not that I hated it, despite how much I complain about it, it's just that I didn't necessarily like it either. I mean, really, what idiot other than me gets mad at a Kirby game?
I can see why someone would enjoy Dreamland 3, but I doubt I'm ever coming back to this one. It's just kinda there, to be honest. Hopefully I like the last game in this marathon more, because we're looking at Kirby 64 next time. I only played it once, like 8 years ago, so that'll be interesting. This has been Flame Guy, and I'm probably gonna hear this happy music in some weird anxiety-driven nightmare. Take care, and I'll see you all next mission.